welcome to a new video. So in this video I'm going to be talking about all the books that are on my Vampathon TBR, and I'm so excited for Vampathon. So if you missed the announcement, I will link up here and in the description box. But basically Vampathon is a week-long readathon that I host with some of my friends. It's a week filled of spooky, cozy reads where you can read whatever you want, however much as you want, however little as you want, and it's going to be so much fun. It takes place from the 24th to the 31st of October, so for the last week of spooky season, and yeah, I cannot wait. If you'd like to see all of the books I plan to read during Vampathon, then please keep watching this video. Let's get straight into it. Now, just before I get into it, I'm filming this in September, and as you guys know, I'm a mood reader, so this isn't a set in stone TBR. This may change. I may pick other books up or just mix and match. I'm not too sure, but this is like a loose TBR for what I'm planning at the moment to read during Vampathon. So I have basically picked a bunch of books and I'm going to link them to prompts rather than picking prompts and then picking books for those prompts, if that makes sense. So for the horror book prompt, I have a choice of two, well technically four, but the other two I'm going to keep as like audiobooks, and I'll see if they fit any other prompts, so I'll talk about those in a little while. But the two that I do have here that are in the horror genre are The Haunting of Ashburn House by Darcy Coates and My Best Friend's Exorcism by Grady Hendrix. So yes, both of these I think are amazing choices for the horror prompt. So in this one we follow, I can't remember the main character's name, but we follow the main character and they are desperate for a place to live, and they end up getting this crumbling house, like inheriting it, thinking like, oh cool, like all my problems are solved, I have somewhere to live, I have a house, but little do they know it's haunted. And it's haunted by a very dark and horrible entity who basically wants to ruin their life. And yeah, it says here that there's strange messages etched into the walls, furniture moves, there's a grave hidden in the depths of the forest, and there's like a terrible secret here. Something twisted lives in the house and it's after them basically. So yeah, this is like a haunted house horror novel. I'm very, very excited for this one. I was recently gifted this by Vanessa, so thank you so much, Vanessa. And yeah, I just feel like this will be perfect to read during Vampathon to scare the living hell out of me. So I could also use this for the prompt of reading a book that frightened you. So I can double up on prompts there. So yes, this one is on the TBR. So then we had My Best Friend's Exorcism. So I actually don't know a lot about this. All I know is that the main kind of theme in here is friendship. And essentially I think this girl gets possessed and her best friend is doing everything she can to try and save her, essentially. That's pretty much all I know. I've never read any Grady Hendrix before, so I'm excited to read my first one. And I've been wanting to read this for a while, so I'm so excited because this is supposed to have those retro nostalgic vibes, and yeah, I just can't wait to read this one. So next, for a spooky middle grade, I have The October Witches by Jennifer Classen. So this recently came out. This is about a young girl and she lives in a world of witches. Her family are all witches, and on the back it says there's so much to love about October: Halloween, pumpkin, everything, and magic, especially magic. But for nervous young witch Clemmy, this October might see the stars descend on her for the first time, bringing with them a whole month of chaotic new power. So it's basically about her kind of like experimenting with her powers and stuff. It's about female empowerment, finding yourself, friendships, family, and magic. So I'm very, very excited to read this one. I love this cover, it's so adorable, and I just think this is going to be such a fun read. So I'm looking at the bingo board for this one because this one can apply to a lot. So we've got a gothic spooky cover, we've got book with a gothic setting, we've kind of got murder mystery, and let's see what else is there. I think that's pretty much everything. So that book is Jacoby, and this is by William Ritter. I've had this on my shelf for so long. I think this is set in the Victorian era, but I might be wrong. It's set in New England as well, which I just think is perfect for autumn season. And I bought this ages ago because this is apparently perfect for fans of Stalking Jack the Ripper, which is one of my favorite books. And I really want to read this because I want to film a if you like this then you'll like this. So I'm trying to read some more books that I think will be similar to those ones, and yeah, this is definitely one of them. I love this cover, it's so gorgeous. Newly arrived in New Fiddleham, New England in 1892 and in need of a job, Abigail Rook meets R.F. Jacoby, an investigator of the unexplained with a keen eye for the extraordinary ordinary, including the ability to see supernatural beings. So this could also count for a supernatural book as well. Abigail has a gift for noticing ordinary but important details, which makes her perfect for the position of Jacoby's assistant. On her first day, Abigail finds herself in the midst of a thrilling case. A serial killer is on the loose. The police, with the exception of the handsome detective Charlie Kane, are convinced their culprit is an ordinary villain. Jacoby is certain the foul deeds are the work of an inhuman creature, the likes of which the authorities are adamant to deny. Doctor Who meets Sherlock in a debut novel, the first in a series brimming with cheeky humour and a dose of the macabre. So yes, I'm very, very excited for this. I don't know if this has any romance, but I still can't wait to read it. I'm just so excited for that kind of murder mystery vibe and the Sherlock vibes as well. The setting sounds amazing, so I'm very, very excited to read this one. So following on with the Stalking the Jack the Ripper vibe, we have Capturing the Devil by Kerry Maniscalco, which is the fourth and final book in the Stalking the Jack the Ripper series. So I recently read Escaping from Houdini, which is the third one, and it was my least favourite in the series so far. So I'm hoping this one will be better and a good kind of finale to the series. So basically in this series we follow Audrey Rose and Thomas Cresswell. Audrey Rose works as a, I can't remember what the term is, but she does like post-mortem like things on like dead bodies and stuff with her uncle, and her and Thomas solve like mysteries in each book. And this is set in the Victorian era as well. It's very gothic and atmospheric, and it has romance and murder mystery. So I'm not going to go into necessarily what these are about because this is the fourth book, but that's the general vibe of this series. And this is all about like missing people and unsolved murders, I believe. I'm so excited to read this, and I really, really hope that it's good. And yeah, I'm also kind of scared to read it because I have high hopes since it's the final book. Okay, so these are the next two like horror books I was talking about that I think I might audiobook each of these. So these can fit the horror prompt and probably like the supernatural ones and like gothic spooky covers as well. So these are both by Christina Henry, and I've never read anything by this author, and I've been meaning to for so long. I have the Near Bone and I have the Horseman, which I think is inspired by Sleepy Hollow. So yeah, these are both two horror novels. I don't know a lot about them. So this one I think set in like this kind of cabin like type thing in the middle of nowhere in the mountains, and there's some like weird creature, and there's this girl and she has this really weird brother, I think, and it's all linked or something. I don't know, but it's supposed to be scary, and I want to go into it not knowing much because I feel like it'll be even scarier. And then next we have The Horseman, which is inspired by Sleepy Hollow, I believe, and I think this is supposed to take place like 30 years after the events of Sleepy Hollow. So yeah, that's all I know about this one as well. I just figured these will both be really, really scary books to add, and I can't wait to finally read them both because I've had them on my shelf for so long. So next we have the book I am most excited about, which is A Long Live the Pumpkin Queen, and this is by Shea Earnshaw. I love Shea Earnshaw and I love Sally, so I can't wait to read this. I have such high hopes for this. So obviously I don't need to go into what this is about too much. It is obviously to do with Sally from The Nightmare Before Christmas and her story. I'm very, very excited to see what Shea Earnshaw does with the character. I love Nightmare Before Christmas and I love Sally, and I'm really excited to see what happens in here. And yeah, I just think this is going to be such a fun spooky read, and I've been saving it for Vampathon. This next one I think can be applied to a few prompts. You have a book to sink your teeth into, gothic spooky cover, book with a gothic setting, blood on the cover. I guess we can maybe, is that blood? I'm going to say that it is. It's not, but we'll say that it is. Yeah, I think that's everything, which is A Dowry of Blood by S.T. Gibson. I've had this on my TBR for so long now, and everyone keeps telling me to read it, and I thought I'd keep it for Vampathon because this is a retelling, I believe, of Dracula's Bride, and it says on the back it's a lyrical and dreamy reimagining of Dracula's Bride. A Diary of Blood is a story of desire, obsession. Very, very excited to read this. I don't know tons about it, but I know that it's very gothic and everyone loves it, so I really hope that I do. I love anything to do with Dracula and Dracula's Bride, so I have very high expectations for this book. So this next one is for the prompt of a supernatural paranormal romance, and that is His Darkest Craving by Tiffany Roberts. I've had this on a few TBRs now and I just need to read it. So this is quite a short one. Basically a romance between this girl in this cabin and this kind of ghost entity thing. I've never read a book like that before, so I'm definitely intrigued, and a few people have told me this is actually quite good. So yeah, it's literally a romance between a ghost and a girl, so we'll see what happens with that, but it's quite short, so I thought it'd be an easy one to squeeze in, and yeah, hopefully it is fun. So this next one is gonna be for a vampire book to movie, supernatural main character technically, a gothic spooky cover, paranormal supernatural romance because there is romance in here, a book to sink your teeth into, a book with a gothic setting, We've also got set in a school. Blood is used as magic. Is it? It's not, but I guess you could twist it and say that it is, because the vampires in this book drink blood and it helps them with their magic, I think. I can't remember. Yeah, I think that's everything for this one. But anyway, that is Frostbite by Rochelle Mead, which is book 2 in the Vampire Academy series. So last Vampathon and the previous Vampathon, I read the first book. I reread it last year with the intention of moving on to the second one, and I believe I did start this. Oh, there's that bookmark. I've been looking for this bookmark for so long, but I only got 30 pages in, so I plan to finally read it this time around. And I'm not going to bother rereading Vampire Academy book 1 again, because I'm not going to do that again. I'm just not. But I think I'm going to buddy read this with some of my friends, because they all read Vampire Academy last year. So I think we're all going to read it together this year, like the second book. So these are super fast-paced reads, and I'm not going to go too much into what these are about, because everyone's kind of aware of Vampire Academy. There's a movie and there's now a TV show, so that's why it fits that prompt. And yeah, this is basically about this girl called Rose, and then there's also the princess vampire she protects. I think Rose is like half something, and yeah, it's based about Rose, and she has a romance going on, and she's protecting her best friend, and there's a lot of other things going on. It's just really, really good. I'm not going to go into what it's about though, because this is like an OG YA book, and like I said, there's TV shows and movies about it. So yeah, I want to read the second book finally and continue reading this series. Okay, so that is all the books. Now I have a bunch of manga and graphic novels, so this is likely to change now. We'll probably read a lot of other manga, hopefully, and graphic novels as well as just these. So the first ones I have is volume 1 and 2 of Rose and Blood, and these are basically about, I think there's like this girl, and she gets into this horrific like carriage accident, and she ends up like waking up in this gothic mansion, and I think there's like 2 guys there, and I think they're like vampires or something, and I don't know if they like both fall in love with her or something, but yeah, it just sounds really, really gothic and really cool. I love the covers, and I've been meaning to read both of these for a while, so I figured these would be perfect for Vampathon, so hopefully I can get to both of these. Then we have Death Note Black Editions book 1, 2 and 3, so we have volumes 1 and 2, 3 and 4 and 5 and 6. I have read 1 and 2 before, but it was a couple of years ago now, so I'm going to reread this and then read these 2 now that I've recently managed to buy them, which I'm so happy about. So yeah, I plan to binge these, and I can't wait. I might also watch the Death Note anime and maybe even the movie, even though the movie's not great, just for like a fun day maybe of like manga reading during Vampathon. But I'm hoping to get to all 3 of these, and yeah, I'm very, very excited. Then we have a Frankenstein by Junji Ito, which I have been saving for Vampathon. I think this was on my TBR last Vampathon as well, but I'm hoping to finally get to it this year. So this is literally a retelling of a Frankenstein, but from Junji Ito, so it's like his take on it. Obviously it's going to be very, very vulgar and unsettling. Cannot wait to read it, because I love the tale of Frankenstein and I really love Junji Ito's work, so I feel like this is going to be a lot of fun to read. And then lastly we have this graphic novel, which is Paper Girls. So obviously all of these fit into the spooky / supernatural manga graphic novel prompts. This one is basically for fans of Stranger Things, I'm told, so if you love Stranger Things you'll love this. It's got that nostalgic vibe. It's a bunch of kids fighting off aliens, I believe, and yeah, I'm very, very excited. This is the deluxe edition that has several volumes in it. I don't know how many. I have book 1 and then I have book 2, so if I really love this I may move on to book 2 as well. But yeah, I don't know how many volumes are in here. I think there's a few in here, but I'm really, really excited to read this. I think it's going to be so much fun. I've been wanting to read it for so long now, so yeah, let's hope that I finally do during Vampathon. But yes, that is everything on my Vampathon TBR. It's not the biggest, but it's not the smallest, and like I said, it's very, very likely to change closer to the time. There will probably be books I will get closer to the time that I decide I want to read, or maybe some left over from my October TBR that I didn't get to but then end up reading during Vampathon. We'll see what happens. I will obviously let you guys know before Vampathon. I will be posting a photo of my TBR, and I will be vlogging, so I will be letting you guys know what I'm planning to read and stuff. So if you are wanting to join in with Vampathon, I will leave all the information for the readathon linked in the description box. We do have a Twitter account, so you can contact us there or find out all the info on there as well, or you can head to the announcement video, which I have linked down below. So yes, that is everything. Please let me know in the comments if you're joining us for Vampathon this year, and also what you're planning to read during Vampathon. I would absolutely love to know what your TBRs are. But yes, thank you guys so much for watching. Please do give this video a big thumbs up if you did enjoy it, and leave a vampy emoji in the comments. Don't forget to subscribe and check out the channels of my co-hosts as well, which are also linked down below. All of the books I've mentioned will be linked down below, along with the links to all of my social medias. And you can also find the link to my Patreon, and that's where you're going to find early access to videos, a monthly buddy read, a monthly readathon, a Discord where we chat, live shows, extra videos, photos, and so much more. It's all over on my Patreon, so if you'd like to join me there, then you can find the link down below. But thank you guys so much for watching. I hope you're all safe and well. I hope you're reading lots of spooky books, and I'll see you in the next video. Bye!